My name is Mike Bissett, and I was employed up until the COVID pandemic hit. I was laid off, immediately started looking for work, although, as everybody knows, it was a very difficult environment. The employment market was seriously distorted for quite a bit of last year, and I struggled for a while trying to figure out how to market myself in the new economy. And at one point, I was made aware of the Workforce Network as a possible source of getting some more training to help me get back into the workforce. As an older worker, I think probably the biggest challenge for me was that I had a lot of experience, but I gained that experience in a time before there were any training or credential programs for the kind of work that I was interested in and qualified for. So I had all this experience, but no way to prove it except through my job experience. So I decided to get in touch with the Workforce Network, see what they could offer as far as training and credentialing programs for me. I was able to get hooked up with a really great training program to get me more exposure, to get myself the kind of credentials that my job experience merited. And I took some classes in digital marketing through the Workforce Network. A lot of the material was stuff that I was familiar with, so it was kind of a refresher course for me, but also a chance to work with teachers and students from around the world. And the big thing for me was it gave me a lot more confidence in going out as an older worker to find the kind of jobs that I think that matched up with my skills and with my newly minted credentials. That was a huge part of what I was able to do through this Workforce Network.
If someone is interested in the workforce program, what advice would you give them?
That's a great question. I think the most important thing is, for me, it was really making the commitment to spending the time to go through the steps necessary to get into the program, successfully plot out what you want your career path to be so that you can be matched up with the most appropriate training program. There were a lot of ways that I could have gone because I have had such a broad experience over my career that Lori really helped me focus in on what was necessary to get me back into the job market as quickly as possible. So I think people need to be realistic about what their interests are, what their current skill set is, and find the program that matches up best with what they want to do and be successful.
Where do you think you would have been if you didn't go forward with this workforce program?
That's really hard to say. It's possible I would have been employed by now. Again, because the job market's been so distorted over the last couple of years. It's, now employers are desperate for workers, but a lot of times they're not finding a good fit with the people that are out there, or they don't have a good way to assess their skill set. A lot of people, especially like myself, if you've been laid off for a substantial period of time, employers tend to get a little bit skeptical about, are your skills current or not? And I think that was a big part of what helped me was, hey, I've got all this experience that goes back, in some cases several decades, but now I've also got current training. So I have the current skills and the current certifications, which really mean that I am ready to get back into the job market immediately.
Any additional information you may find helpful for someone to know in general about the program, or I guess really about anything, if you want to put anything in here at this point?
Well, I think the important thing for me was first being aware of the program. That was the challenge because I wasn't aware of this program. So if you're already aware of the program, I think it's incumbent on you to take the next step and be aggressive about it and find out what the Workforce Network can offer for you. For me, it was the final step in getting back into the working world. I had a lot to offer an employer. I had a lot of experience. The final step was to get the certifications that get me, more confident about going out and talking to employers. I think it's literally one of those can't lose situations. You're going to go into the program, find out what your value is to an employer, because I'm making 50% more than I made in my last job after a 1.5-year layoff. That's a huge win. I think anybody would find that to be a pretty compelling reason to get involved with the Workforce Network.